Welcome to this week's edition of the Local Anxiety Podcast. My name is James Kasha, and this episode is going to be a little different. I want to talk about the state of comedy right now, where it's at, what's happening with it, and how COVID-19 has come in and done obviously some tremendous damage to the industry right now. No live shows. No one can go to concerts anymore. No one can go to live performances anymore without that fear of the big bad. But comedy is still going, just in different formats. Some comics have seen quite a bit of a hit from the COVID-19, and they've braved it out, thinking that, you know what, this is my way of living. I'm going to power through, and I'm still going to go and try and make a living off of this, and have went and done some of the comedy circuits and have paid the price, not with their lives, of course, but just with catching the COVID-19. And they've openly talked about it. And they've talked about how foolish it was, and they've learned their lesson. But that being said, there are some comics that have done some other things, especially setting up new venues and new avenues to enjoy comedy. For example, Bert Kreischer has created a different kind of format where he makes it like a drive-in theater. So essentially everything's set up just like a drive-in theater would be, but instead of a theater screen there, you got the nice stage for the big boy to be up there and do his thing, rip his shirt off, enjoy his thing, right? So it's still pretty cool. We get to see some comedy. Some people get to see it live, and they do it safely. They're all distancing. They got their own vehicles. They're set apart from each other. They even do a meet and greet that is kind of like a drive-by. You drive by, you get to wave at your comedian, tell them that you love them, that kind of thing. So that's very exciting that they're still able to do that in some form of capacity. There is still some comedy clubs that are obviously not doing it correctly. Unfortunately, that social distancing is not really a thing. They're not really following the rules, and that can be quite alarming. But if you're in that part of the world and you want to go check out a show still, I would just recommend being very cautious and see how they're actually doing that. So that being said, we need to support our comedians still. We need to, and the way that we can do that right now is to support their podcasts, and so that's why I kind of wanted to bring up this topic is that I'm hoping that comics that aren't doing well right now try and find a way to start their own thing and power through and just try and create their own content, even if they didn't have a podcast before. And now is the time to start it. People are needing it more than ever. Podcasts are on the rise. Joe Rogan just signed a $100 million Spotify deal, and this shows that podcasts are a serious thing. I've always thought they were, but this solidifies it. Radio, watch out, and radio has been going down for a little while, but podcast is the new thing. It is the pirate radio. Now I want to get into two of my favorite comedians. They do a show called Two Bears, One Cave. And so this next clip is going to talk all about that. I'm going to talk a lot of nonsense, a lot of things about what I love about these two comics and why I believe comedy is not dead. Comedy may be under threat right now by the whole political thing, but it will not die. It may be buried in the sand a little bit, it may get a little rocky right now, but things will come out on top, and I can assure you that. And so that being said, I'm going to lead you into next clip, James. He will show you what's up. And I watched a clip of two of my favorite comedians just about last week, and I've been ruminating and still remembering and thinking about this clip for many days, actually, since it's happened. It's something that brought me so much joy, and it literally is. The two comedians are Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, and they have a podcast called Two Bears, One Cave. Now, the name is very interesting. I mean, there's a story behind that I won't get into in this video, but let's just put it that way. Put it this way, they're two really good friends. They're bigger guys. They've been bigger before. They've trimmed down a little bit, but they've been friends for over a decade, and this whole podcast is kind of a dream in the making. It's a dream come true for all the viewers, all the fans that get to watch it, because both of them have such great chemistry together. They're like brothers, and they're both heavyweights in the comedy game. And so to set up this clip that I'm going to put the link in the description, eventually I'm going to learn how to do the reaction videos, because I think that's going to be a little bit more effective to kind of see me react to it, and then hopefully have you be able to do the research yourself and go watch that video yourself. But the link is going to be down in the description below for this actual clip. But if I can try to break it down and give you context to it, I think you get more of a kick out of it. So Bert Kreischer, also known as The Machine, he's the heavier set guy with the big beard, and he always has his shirt off. That's kind of his gimmick. And I was able to see him live, as well as Tom Segura, and they're both amazing live. They're excellent comedians. But they're just sitting across from each other, they're having a conversation. And Tom notices that Bert has this massive gallon, what looks like a big water jug. Like, oh wow, like who would have thought? Like, Bert's on the mend. I mean, he's drinking enough water. He's being fully hydrated, right? I mean, but that's obviously not the case, because he lets slip out that it's a whole thing of Kool-Aid. It literally is a massive jug of Kool-Aid, and and that's not even the funniest part. He literally says he tries to drink 2 of them a day, right? And this is a guy that I was always complaining. He's like, why can't I lose weight, right? And so, that being said, to Tom's bafflement, he comes to the realization that Bert has a massive jug of Kool-Aid, and this is a 47-year-old man. And so, to the realization, Tom grabs it and kind of opens it up to confirm that it actually is a massive one gallon thing of Kool-Aid, right? And so the laughter ensues. Tom breaks down. It almost looks like an actual mental breakdown. And to be honest, it was like a comedy coma. It's a state of uncontrollable laughter that turns to pain and joy, and it's a mixed match of emotions. He's crying. They're both crying. It's this realization that his friend is far beyond crazier than he thought he was. It's this childlike mentality that he has that is so infectious and so funny and just pure. He is literally a man-child, and Tom just can't handle it. It's an overload of just scenarios of summing up who this person is. And he thought he knew him. Like, Bert has talked many times about his certain habits and things that he enjoys a lot, and Tom's laughed at that too. But this was like reaching a new plateau for how he views Bert. And I swear to God, it's like 2 to 3 minutes of just pure laughter, and this is going to bring you joy, because I don't know about you, but like when I see someone genuinely laugh like that, I feed off of that like crazy. Like, that is so infectious, just to have someone laugh so genuinely. And so if I ever would feel down, I would look back at some of these guys' other clips that they've put out before, and I want to link more, because they had a dance-off challenge, and that was absolutely fantastic. Tom dressed up like Steven Seagal and did a whole dance-off kind of mocking Bert, and that in itself. And then we got to watch how Tom showed Bert the video, and that's another laugh fest. So I'm going to link some of these videos down below of some of these two's history, and I want you guys to look over it and just enjoy it. And I'm sure you guys are going to get a kick out of it. But we need laughter right now, and we need to support our comics. We need to support the people that can't work right now. A lot of them are out of work. A lot of them are deciding some big things. Rumor is that Joe Rogan wants to leave Los Angeles, and that could happen for a lot of other entertainers. This is a very interesting time, and there's a lot of comedy to still consume. It may just be in a different format. It's most likely going to be heard through a microphone, not on a stage, but maybe in a living room or a studio. And just know that there's a lot of great content still being made, and I have a responsibility to share it with you guys as much as possible in case you're missing out. So yes, this has been an unorthodox video, but it's one that spoke to me this week when I just thought about what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about this week? And to be honest, I didn't know. I didn't have any ideas, but I want to relate to you guys what has made me laugh and what has helped me through some of these rockier times with this whole COVID-19. So that being said, this comes to the end of my episode, the Local Anxiety Podcast. Keep laughing.